Hi everyone, Sean Joyce here for Cyber in 60, and today as my guest I have Tonya Ugoretz. She's the Assistant Director of the Directorate of Intelligence at the FBI. Welcome, Tonya.
Thank you.
All right, so today at the PwC Cyber Exchange, you were talking with Matt Gorham, who was the former Assistant Director of the Cyber Division, about the threat landscape. Could you tell our listeners about what they should be concerned about and how they should be looking at the current threat landscape as it relates to cybersecurity?
Sure. So as the head of intelligence, one of my key areas of focus is to help our decision makers identify threats and opportunities and avoid surprise. So to me, as we look at the global landscape, we can't control for all the variables, but we can try to reduce risk as much as possible by identifying where we could be surprised. So when I look at the geopolitical threats, for example, we see a lot of long simmering, intractable conflicts, and we never really know when that simmer is going to turn into a boil. There's a lot of long-term conflicts when we look at Russia and its near abroad, China and Taiwan, certainly the Middle East, where unfortunately many of us did wake up on October 7th and suffered a surprise. So how do we reduce the risk of that? One is by understanding that where those long-term conflicts exist, knowing where those are, knowing where your critical assets and your business has dependencies in those areas, and thinking about different scenarios. What would you do if you did wake up on a day and find that one of those long simmering conflicts had turned from warm to hot? But also, how can you recognize some of the signals that you might see in between those steps to know and to run some simulations, think about different scenarios for how you would react if a situation like that were to change.
All right, that's great advice. Hey, one more question. I'm asked a lot of times about, hey, when a client is breached, should they call the FBI? There's always concern about, are they gonna actually inform a regulator? What's sort of the best advice you can give us today?
Well, first of all, I know it's a very kind of complex and shifting regulatory landscape, but I can tell you we have found no instance in which the FBI has shared incident information with a regulator. It's just not what we do. I think it's important to think about the long history of the FBI and the fact that we are a people-centered organization. Our mission is to protect the American people and uphold the Constitution, and we're a victim-centered organization. We're not only trying to prevent organizations and the American people from becoming victims of different types of threats, we're also there to respond and help them when unfortunately that does occur. So of course, just like with any type of incident that an organization might suffer, whether it's a physical incident or a cyber incident, please call the FBI, because I think we've seen increasingly over the past few years where rapid information sharing with the Bureau, in concert with our ability to work with our partners and other US government agencies, has enabled us to move quickly, to attribute threats, to hold the perpetrators accountable, and often to prevent additional victimization. For example, preventing the public release of stolen information, recovering paid ransom. We can't always guarantee that, but we can guarantee that we won't be able to help if the victim doesn't call us.
All right, that is great. Thanks for being with us today, Tonya. And that's Cyber in 60.